Hey future fans, what's up? My name's Nurse Jessica and you found my channel, Real Nurse Talk. Like I said, my name's Nurse Jessica. This is my channel, Real Nurse Talk. This is a passion project for me. I'm hoping to provide some information and knowledge to nurses, nursing students, patients, people who are worried about being patients in the hospital in the future. My goal is to help you optimize your time in the hospital no matter what side of the stethoscope you're on, and I hope that you find this really helpful. So the goal of this video is to tell you why I'm here and what I hope to do. I hope you stick around for the end, because at the end of every video I'm going to give you a mind-blowingly interesting, crazy, maybe gross or weird fact about your body and what it's doing for you right now. If you like what you see in this video, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, click the bell so that you get notifications. My goal is to bring you new videos every Saturday morning so that you can start your weekend off with some knowledge that will hopefully bring you some peace of mind, some peace of soul, and make you feel a little bit less worried about what might happen in the future. Let me start by giving you some background about myself. Why should you care what I have to say? Who am I and what is my authority? Well, I am actually a registered nurse. I've not only worked as a nurse, I started working in hospitals as a nurse's aide, which I just want to give a big shout out right now to all the CNAs and all the techs out there. You have really hard but really, really important jobs. And to all the nurses and all the patients out there, please show your CNAs and your techs some love and encouragement, because it's a really hard job. Okay, anyways, I started doing that on the med-surg floor. For about a year, my patient load was about 14 patients. And after that, I finished up nursing school. I went back to that same floor to work as a nurse, and again, that was a medical surgical floor. So I did that for about 2 years, and now I'm an ICU nurse. So what inspired me to start making these videos is that as I was working as a nurse, of course, you get to know your coworkers, you get to become really good friends, and I started realizing that there was a lot of frustration, and there was a lot of people talking about maybe leaving the unit, maybe leaving the hospital, maybe quitting nursing altogether. And my thoughts were, wow, after everything I've done to get to this point now, 4 years of nursing school, which is really hard, studying for the NCLEX, jumping through all the hoops to interview, get hired, and finally get started, then get trained, and then finally be on your own as a nurse. Why would you want to give all that up and do something else? So I started looking into it, and I'm going to throw some statistics out here for you. I will put my references at the end of this video. Okay, so I'm going to look at my page here. About 43% of newly licensed nurses end up leaving their jobs within the first 3 years. Okay, that's statistic 1. Statistic 2 is about 33% of nurses end up leaving the field altogether, resigning, done, within 2 years. It costs anywhere between, depending on the specialty, depending on the hospital, between $35,000 and $85,000 just to train a nurse, just to get him or her out there working at the bedside or doing whatever they're doing. Okay? Lastly, when you see job positions on an employer page, they're up there for an average of about 85 days. So that means every posting you see up there, that is a position that needs to be filled. That takes about 3 months to fill. So 3 months with a shortage of a nurse there. Which brings me to my next point. I want to talk about the nursing shortage. What is the nursing shortage? You may or may not have heard this term. So the nursing shortage is real. It's brought on by a couple of factors, some from the patient side, some from the nursing side. So let's start with the patient side. So on the patient side, what's happening right now is there's a generation of people called the baby boomers. So you may or may not have heard this term before. It's basically the biggest generation population-wise within the U.S. And right now they're about hitting retirement age, so about 65, give or take a few years. What happens when you're around that age? Aside from retiring, you usually start to develop some chronic illnesses. Heart disease, diabetes, cancer. I could go on, but those are a few examples. So when you start developing these chronic diseases, what happens is you start getting admitted to the hospital more if it's something that can't be treated by your primary care provider. So we're starting to see a bigger group of people going into the hospital. Okay, so that's the first reason. The second reason on the patient side is that now we have all these people going into the hospital. Well, modern medicine's pretty amazing, so we've got all these new medications, new procedures, new diagnoses, new ways of thinking that we can implement that are making people live longer, which is a good thing. I want you to live longer. But the fact of the matter is that the longer you're living with a chronic illness, the more times you're going to be in the hospital. It's just a numbers game. Okay, so next we're going to move to the nursing side. So a little bit of what's happening on the patient side is also happening on the nursing side. A lot of nurses are hitting retirement age, the baby boomers, right? So that means that they're taking all of their experience and they're retiring. Which, I mean, hey, you've done your time, go retire, enjoy your life, but that does mean that there's going to be a lot less nurses pretty soon. Okay, so that's the first reason. The second thing is that nursing schools just don't have the capacity to turn out the nurses that they need to turn out. For example, when I went to nursing school, I know that our class was about 60 people, and I think about 400 people applied for that semester. I haven't actually looked up the numbers on that, but from what I've heard from other people from other states, that's about average. That's about an average class size and an average number of occupants. So we could be making a lot more nurses if we did put some resources into creating bigger classrooms. Okay, so just side note, my husband's out there with my baby right now, so if you hear a baby talking, don't worry, he's not alone, my husband's taking care of him, but that's what's going on in the background. Okay, so anyways, my third thing that's happening, which is why there's a nursing shortage, is what I talked about earlier. Nurses are getting burnout and they're leaving the field completely. To me, this is tragic, and this is something that I'm hoping with this channel might help to facilitate that not happening. Okay, so how am I hoping to help? Obviously, I'm not the first genius to figure out that we have some issues in our healthcare system. That said, I know there's a lot of administrators and there's a lot of government policymakers that are working on trying to improve our healthcare, which is great. But let's be honest, those people have a lot of hoops to jump through and a lot of red tape to get around. So it could be a while before we see any real results, and who knows if we're going to agree with the results that they come to. So what do I think that I can do? My goal is threefold. First, I want to provide you, this is for the nurses and the nursing students, I want to provide you with one-on-one interviews with the nurses from just about every possible specialty and field that you can think of, which is a ton. I mean, it took me, I think I've got a list of over 50 people I could possibly interview right now, and that took me like 10 minutes. So what I'm hoping is that by you getting a chance to see these one-on-one, a little bit more lengthy interviews with people from ICU, NICU, med-surg, public nursing, corrections nursing, OR nursing, etc., maybe something will click for you if you're a nurse and you're starting to feel burnout, or if you're a nursing student and you have no idea where you want to go, that makes you say, okay, maybe I feel really passionate about that. Maybe that's something that I would really like to do. So hopefully you'll end up staying there for a decent period of time. And hopefully when you leave, it's not going to be because you're burnt out and you hate nursing and you want to resign. Maybe it'll be that you've found another opportunity within nursing, or you're getting offered a bunch of money from this other hospital because you rock your job so much that they want to hire you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that I want to provide you with tips and tricks that I've learned to help you not just succeed, but excel every shift. There are tips and tricks, people. Nursing is hard. We're going to talk about time management. We're going to talk about how to prepare for your shift so that you get stuff done in the morning, so that when you know what hits the fan, you're ready. We're going to talk about the supplies that you need to bring, what you can take, what you can leave home, so on and so forth. And I'm also open to suggestions from you. Comment below. The final thing that I want to do, and this is really for everyone because let's be honest, we're all going to end up being in the hospital at some point in time. It's just an inevitability. So I want to help you as a current or future patient be a good patient. And I don't just mean that this is all on you. Obviously, there's a whole team of people that want to help you. But it's really confusing. Being in the hospital is really confusing. People are confused and people are scared. And that's totally understandable because you don't understand what's going on outside of your room. All you know is that you're sick, you're lying in bed, people are constantly coming in and out, you're getting this new medication, this person's asking you these questions, and you're exhausted. So I want to help you understand what to expect, what's going on outside your door, what your family can come and help you do, what you can do for yourself, because we want you to be as independent as possible, because you're not going to be in the hospital forever. You're eventually going to go home and have to manage your disease by yourself. So these are my goals so that when you do have to go to the hospital, hopefully you won't have to go back for a really long time. And guess what? If that happens, everybody wins. Okay, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you for listening to me. As promised, you get an interesting, crazy, fun fact about the body and how it works and what it's doing for you. Here's your fact. Did you know when you sleep and you dream, your body paralyzes itself? Crazy, right? When I first heard that, it kind of freaked me out. But think about it. Your brain is so active when you're dreaming. What if your body was active too? So let's say you're having a dream, you're catching up on Game of Thrones, you fall asleep, you start dreaming you're being chased by White Walkers. Jon Snow's right there. Hey Jon Snow, let's grab this dragon. Go kill some White Walkers with our awesome dragon fire. So you're just living life in your dream world. What if your body was living life in the real world while you're doing that? You end up in your neighbor's backyard climbing on their kids' jungle gym, screaming, "Die, White Walkers." It's just hard to come back from that. So, in conclusion, let's thank our bodies for being awesome. Okay, guys, that's it for me this week. Like I said, there's going to be many videos to come. I'm planning on dropping them every Saturday morning. So, subscribe, hit the notification button. Please leave comments about what you'd like to hear from me. And that's it for now. Have a healthy week.